Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that we have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date. But your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life. You can't Google that, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain, and your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways, and it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're
The mental strength that separates those who dominate their goals from those who merely dream about them isn't something you're born with. It's built. It's developed through deliberate practice, strategic thinking, and a fundamental shift in how you view challenges. If you're ready to discover the psychological tools that elite performers use to achieve extraordinary results, stick around because this is the blueprint you need. Success at the highest level is never just about physical effort or raw talent. It's about what happens between your ears. Research shows that at elite levels of competition and achievement, mental factors account for 80 to 90% of performance success. The body follows where the mind leads, and understanding this is the first step toward dominating your goals. This isn't theory. This is proven fact backed by decades of psychological research and demonstrated by every elite performer across sports, business, entertainment, and academic fields. Building mental resilience through challenges. Mental resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about your ability to get back up faster and stronger each time. Think of it as your psychological muscle, and like any muscle, it grows through resistance. The key is learning to reframe how you see obstacles. Most people view challenges as threats to their confidence. They avoid difficult situations because they're afraid of failure. But mentally resilient people see challenges differently. They view them as opportunities for growth and learning. When they face a setback, they don't ask themselves why they failed. They ask what they can learn from the experience and how they can approach it differently next time. Building resilience involves several practical steps. First, start surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow rather than those who simply make you feel comfortable. Second, develop the habit of celebrating small wins along the way. Each small victory builds momentum and signals to your brain that progress is possible. Third, practice gratitude daily. When you consistently acknowledge what's going right in your life, you strengthen your ability to stay optimistic even during difficult periods. Resilience is also strengthened through physical health. Regular exercise, consistent sleep patterns, and proper nutrition create the biological foundation your mind needs to bounce back from stress and adversity. Your mental resilience is directly connected to how you treat your body. Many people focus entirely on mental training while neglecting their physical well-being, but this is a critical mistake. Your brain needs proper sleep, regular physical activity, and good nutrition to function optimally under stress. These aren't optional extras. They're foundational requirements for building genuine mental strength. Developing a growth mindset for unstoppable momentum. Your beliefs about your abilities determine how you respond when things get tough. This is where the growth mindset becomes your greatest competitive advantage. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed and improved through effort and practice. It's the opposite of believing you're simply born with fixed talents that never change. People with a growth mindset view intelligence and skill as malleable qualities. When they encounter difficulty, they don't think they're incapable. They think they haven't yet learned how to solve the problem. This subtle shift in thinking changes everything about how you approach your goals. Consider two people facing the same obstacle. One thinks, "I'll never be good at this." This belief becomes self-fulfilling. They stop trying because they believe effort won't matter. The other person thinks, "I'm not good at this yet, but I can improve." This person keeps experimenting, keeps learning, and keeps pushing forward. The first person gives up. The second person eventually succeeds. Developing a growth mindset means reframing failure as feedback. When something doesn't work, instead of seeing it as proof you're not cut out for success, see it as data. What worked? What didn't? What can you try next? This mindset is what allows people to persist through challenges that would stop most others. You can actively develop this mindset starting today. When you catch yourself thinking negatively about your abilities, challenge that thought. Ask for evidence that contradicts it. Seek feedback from people who know your work. Study the journeys of people you admire, and you'll discover that almost every successful person failed repeatedly before achieving breakthrough success. The difference wasn't talent. It was persistence born from believing their abilities could improve. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan missed thousands of shots before becoming a basketball legend. These aren't exceptions. These are the rule among high achievers. What separates them from everyone else is their willingness to view each failure as a step toward mastery rather than evidence of incompetence. The power of mental rehearsal and visualization. Elite athletes and high performers across every field use one technique that dramatically accelerates their progress toward their goals: visualization. Mental rehearsal involves creating vivid mental images of yourself successfully completing your goal or executing difficult tasks. When you practice visualization, your brain treats it almost like real experience. Neuroscience research shows that when you visualize performing a skill, you activate nearly the same neural pathways as when you actually perform that skill. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between something vividly imagined and something truly experienced. This means visualization is like getting extra practice without physical wear and tear. Here's how to use it effectively. Start by finding a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in the situation where you need to perform. Make it as vivid as possible. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? The more sensory details you include, the more real it becomes to your brain. See yourself executing perfectly. Imagine the confidence you feel. Picture the moment of success. The key is consistency. Just 5 to 10 minutes of daily visualization can produce remarkable results. Olympic athletes visualize their routines hundreds of times before competition. Business leaders visualize successful presentations before they happen. The practice works across every domain where high performance matters. What makes visualization so powerful is that your brain doesn't distinguish between real experience and vivid imagination. When you mentally rehearse success, you're literally training your nervous system to recognize and execute the successful outcome. Your muscles don't move during visualization, but your brain activates the same neural patterns that fire when you actually perform the skill. Visualization serves another crucial function. It reduces performance anxiety. When you've mentally rehearsed success dozens of times, the actual moment feels familiar. Your nervous system is calmer because it's recognizing a scenario it's already practiced. This is why visualization is one of the most underutilized tools for goal achievement, despite its proven effectiveness. Mastering self-discipline and building unbreakable routines. Mental strength without self-discipline is like having a powerful engine with no direction. Self-discipline is what transforms your mental clarity into actual results. It's the bridge between knowing what to do and actually doing it consistently. Self-discipline grows through routine. When you establish consistent pre-performance rituals and daily habits, you build mental strength automatically. Elite performers don't rely on motivation because motivation is unstable. Motivation comes and goes. Instead, they rely on systems and routines that keep them on track regardless of how they feel on any given day. Start by breaking your larger goals into smaller, specific steps. Instead of "I want to achieve my biggest goal," define exactly what needs to happen daily or weekly to move toward that goal. Set these smaller targets using the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. When you know precisely what you're working toward and can measure your progress, staying disciplined becomes much easier. Create anchoring routines that prepare your mind before important tasks. This might include a specific warm-up sequence, a particular playlist, breathing exercises, or positive affirmations. When you repeat the same preparation ritual before important moments, your brain learns to enter peak performance mode automatically. Your nervous system recognizes the pattern and shifts into the right state. Consistency in small daily routines builds incredible discipline over time. If you commit to practicing visualization for 10 minutes daily, completing your small step-by-step targets, and maintaining your pre-performance ritual, you're not just working toward your goal. You're building mental strength that transfers to every other area of your life. This compound effect is what separates people who achieve their goals from those who don't. It's not dramatic overnight transformations. It's small daily actions that accumulate over weeks, months, and years into extraordinary results. As you dominate your goals and face new challenges, this mental strength grows even stronger because you're continually reinforcing it through daily practice and achievement. The compound effect of consistent efforts, strategic visualization, a growth mindset, and unwavering discipline creates unstoppable momentum toward your goals. Every goal you achieve makes the next goal easier because you've already trained the mental muscles required for success. The mental strength you need isn't mysterious or reserved for the naturally talented. It's available to anyone willing to practice these techniques consistently. Start today with just one of these strategies. Build your visualization practice. Adopt a growth mindset about one area where you felt stuck. Establish one new routine that supports your goals. Small, consistent actions compound into extraordinary results. Your mind is your greatest asset. Train it like you depend on it, because you do. The difference between your current reality and your goals isn't talent or luck, it's mental strength. And mental strength is something you can build starting right now. Now go dominate your goals.